Hey everybody, it's Eric at Nailed or Failed Reviews. Today we're going to be starting a new series of video reviews on software. Being digital entrepreneurs and website owners, we require a lot of different tools to stay on task and help automate our business life. So today we're going to be going over a review on a video editing app called Create. This is something new I recently came across. They had me targeted on Facebook because of all the other video editing apps and different apps that I've been looking at recently. So we're going to be going over its features. We're going to show you a light overview of what it can do and how it's supposed to help you easily create videos of all different types. So let's check it out now on Nailed or Failed Reviews. Okay, so let's get to what Create is. Create is a video editing app, and there's a lot of these out there, but recently there's been a really big increase in the number of cloud-based and digital apps that we've been seeing being released by all different types of new startups. And you find these softwares on places like AppSumo, and there's a new place called PitchGround. There's also another place called Stack Social. And so this one called Create is not on any of those, but this actually came up in my Facebook feed as an ad because we've recently been researching a lot of different apps and digital tools to help us just do different things better, like social media and video editing, for example. So they had me targeted on Facebook and showed me this little video here about what their app can do, and it was this guy talking about how he creates videos on YouTube, and he's looking for a better way to make money at it because he's just his audience has lost interest. So they come out with this app called Create. This is by a company called Vidello that you see here, and Vidello is actually a cloud-based CDN for video and pictures. So if you're a website owner, you can store all of your video and pictures on these cloud-based websites or software, whatever you want to call them, and they will serve those videos and pictures to your website instead of you having to store them on your website and eat up bandwidth and storage. The other benefit to something like Vidello is that it has its own embeddable video player. So again, instead of showing people your videos and pictures on something like YouTube or even here like Facebook, where they have all these other videos and things that are meant to pull you away from what you're currently viewing, then something like Vidello could be of interest to you. Now again, this is something separate. This is like I said, a CDN that is a membership based, so you have to pay monthly for it. They created this Create app to help people create videos to put on that Vidello CDN, and then you can serve them up on your website or wherever the heck you want them to. So you can see the guy working here in the Facebook video. He's making, this is one of their little tutorials that they have out there about what it can do. So I'll get into more about that in a second, but either way, this is just another app, and again, we're going to be doing a bunch of different reviews on a lot of these new tools that are coming out to help people who are website owners or digital marketers, digital agencies, that can help you, create video easier, create pictures easier, automate your social media, clean your email list. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, it goes on and on and on. They're coming out all the time. And the thing about it is that they're new companies. So what you're going to experience with a lot of these apps, even this video app Create, is that there's a lot of quirks to it. And if you're new to video editing, for example, it may not be a thing for you, like a hindrance or anything, or bother, because maybe you haven't ever used a video app before. But if you're familiar with something like Premiere Pro or Final Cut, stuff like that, where you can do all types of things and you have, millions of options to create edits and transitions, and goes on and on and on. Create is not like that. So anyways, right now they're offering a half off price, and so that's how they got me in. Instead of $127, they have it right now for half of that. And so what this thing can do is, it says it's a Create desktop software. It has a screen, webcam, and audio recording function. gorgeous transitions, full media library, text-to-speech creator, and emojis, they're animated, icons, and other assets. You have 30 audio tracks available, text presets, exports up to 4K, a GIF creator, and then a timeline creator, which it should have, regardless, being a video editing app. So you can see this is their pretty simple form to fill out. And again, I was given the half price link. That was something if you clicked on the ad on Facebook. So I'll try to find that and provide it down in the links below. But again, this is created by Vidello. And currently what I'm using, the reason I was interested in this was because it showed in the video that it was a screen recording software. And the one I'm currently using is this one, AC Soft, and I don't even know how you say it right. This is one I've been using for a long time, what I'm recording this video screen recording on right now. It does have its quirks, but it's really powerful. You can do a lot of different things with it as far as screen recordings go. But other than that, it's pretty limited to just that, screen recordings, audio recordings. It does have a small editor in it to just edit your output files as far as, from what you recorded here, you can make an in and out point. But what Create is a little bit more in depth than that. Regardless, we're going to be doing a video review on this software as well that I'm currently using because I think it's really powerful. It's a really good one. And right now they have it for sale for only $23. So it is much less than Create, although it's really just meant to be a screen recorder. So either way, we'll get into that at some point, but I just wanted to show you guys that there. So again, here is this one video just to show you guys quickly, to give you a good idea of what this app is about. This is one of their videos that they have on Facebook where he's showing you how to make a stomp promo video. And it's pretty nice. I mean, it's pretty cool, their interface, the way it works, and what the elements that provide. But one of the things that you have to remember is that despite their advertisement video for this being more or less the tone of you can have a video created for you type of thing, like an automated type of thing, this is not that at all. It is all manual. You have to do everything manually, and so we're going to show you guys that now. Okay, so once you get Create downloaded and installed on your Mac or Windows, this is the interface that you get, pretty basic. You have your Create New, your GIF creator, updates, support, and then once you create projects, a sidebar will open up. So every time you open the Create program, this sidebar will show you your current projects. So we're going to create a new one and show you guys how this looks. Now, the first thing I noticed about Create is that it has a very basic interface. There is no right-click functions when I was messing around with editing. There is nothing that's supposed to be a surprise. So it's what you see is what you get. You have your timeline that you can zoom in and out on to get precise on where you want to place things. You have your settings over here, and then you have a bunch of settings and options over here. So first we'll start with the settings over here. That's what this little wheel is, project settings, and you can see if you click on it, it'll close it or open it up. And then you have the project settings for the video output that you're going to create. Now this is nice because they have resolution up here and they have a few different options. So this is something that a lot of standard video editing apps makes kind of confusing because of the different types of cameras that people are recording on and everything like that. So this is nice that they just say, okay, if you want Facebook or Instagram, click here. If you want 1080p for something like YouTube, click here. So this is really nice because depending on what you're trying to do, what social media app you're trying to create a video for, getting the sizing is really essential to make sure it looks good when somebody's viewing it on their phone, for example. So you have those nice options. You can actually set the custom options as well. You can set a background color. So if you have just a text video that you're making, you can do the background color. You have the project name, and then export. You can actually make a template there. So this record button down here is for the screen recorder. We'll get into that later. So that you have their undo and redo there, timeline. So now here over on the left is your where all your media options are going to live. So this is pretty standard. You're going to import your video and pictures there. You have a option here for their stock footage. So they use Pixabay. They supply you with a nice selection of stock videos, but not very many. So I'm not sure how much farther it goes if you're searching or if it's just searching this. You also have Pixabay images. So these look really high quality. Looks like they have a lot of nice, just sort of nature styled backgrounds. So I'm sure those will be useful for a lot of people. You go back to the editor and you can have some pre-made text. So you will drag and drop these in for what you want to do. And these are nice because it's already made. Now it is very limited selection, you know, there's not very many options there. But again, when you're talking about something like Premiere Pro, where you have to go and create a title and, you know, make the text inside of that title and then add that element to the timeline and change all the attributes of it, it can be a little tedious. So this is kind of nice that you can just take this and drag and drop it. It's going to insert it into your player head or into your track, and then you can edit it as you see fit. So that's kind of nice there. Once you drop in your text, you can see that it again puts it on the track and on the timeline, and then you can select them, and what you'll see is these little blue editor buttons. It's a little pencil, so you can click on that and then you can change the text. So the nice thing about it is that they're providing, you know, it's already set, like this is railway text, this is Oswald, and then that's a different one. So I mean, that's kind of nice, and then you can change it. But again, it is kind of limited for, you know, buying something that's saying, hey, we have all these elements for you. So it'd be nice if they actually included, you know, like 100, because I mean, there's hundreds of fonts out there. So the other things you get are, again, some backgrounds, some pre-made stock backgrounds. So that's pretty nice that you can just take those and drop those in. You have images as well as icons here. So you can take these and then drop them in and then do what you will. You have some other emojis here that you can play around with. Some of them are animated, some of them are just static. And then you have this, these are like SVG style animated icons that you can put in there, and you can see there's some coffee that's steaming. Then what else you have? You have some presets. So these are pre-made videos that you can add your content to. So you can see here it has made this preset video, and if we play it, it's going to welcome to create. And then what you can do is you can actually come in here and select these and then edit that text to be your own. So that's kind of cool, because these types of things are what people and small businesses are seeing on social media, and you're saying, you know, well, how do I make one of those? Like, I don't know the first thing about going in there and, for instance, you know, making this like circle action happen here. You know, like a lot of people are just going to be like, whoa, there's no way I know how to buy an editing app and then go in there and create that. Here you can say, you know, I want to edit my tagline to be, you know, HGJ. So in that aspect, this is really powerful. Like I could see using something like this to, for instance, create some nice text transitions when you're talking about trying to create some different elements for your video. So, you know, if it's like, you know, you want to make your videos not just like what I'm doing here, you know, I'm just talking and I'm on video, but you want to have some like transitions and different things. And like, say if I'm talking about a new chapter, you can have like this little thing pop up here that's going to say, okay, we're talking about creates timeline, for example, and then that's going to disappear after, you know, 5 seconds. So that's kind of the cool thing about this app, is that they do have these different elements inside of there that you can you know, use and then edit those elements to quickly create a nice video. So that's the presets. Then you have transitions. So again, these are just some pre-made transitions that they have here. Some of them have sound to them. And what these do is you take them, and for some reason, I don't know why, it drops them in at the end of the timeline of the clip that you're doing. So that's kind of annoying that it does that. For instance, I'll show you in a minute. We'll just move on. Those are transitions. Then you have your sound here, so you have some music you can drop in. For some reason, the music always drops in at the very top track. Let's see, where did it go? And now it's not dropping it in there. So now, earlier when I was messing around with this, it was putting it in at the top player track. Okay, either way, let me clean this up. Again, there are some quirks to this, as I said in the beginning of the video. One of them is this track thing. I don't like how they have these tracks so tall, and you can see as I added elements, this drag and drop of adding elements, it drops them in, and you sort of lose your position on where you are. So one of the things I notice about this is that if you're going to have a bunch of different elements, you really have to make sure you're done creating them. Like say your element is only going to be 5 seconds long, so you really want to be done, create the whole thing in that 5 seconds and then move on. Don't try to okay, I'm going to add something here and then add another thing over here, but wait, I want to go back and change this. You're really going to get lost, in my opinion, on the way that these tracks work. One of the other annoying things is you can't change the height of it, so you can see how tall they are, and that's just to show a good thumbnail, to show you what you're working on. But I feel like that's sort of annoying, because then you can't adjust the height of the timeline either to make this area smaller to show more of your timeline. Another annoying thing is once you get all these things in here, you can't just delete them. You can use the delete key doesn't work, but the backspace does, but that just deletes the element. If you actually want to delete the track, then you have to come in here one by one, and we can see how quickly it'll work. So it is, quickly cycling through to delete all those tracks that we dropped in from those presets, because that's one thing that's happening. And you can see here is you can actually take your whole timeline away, and then if you want to add new ones in, you just click on there and add some new ones in. But you can see on the presets, for example, it drops in all the different elements. So you have the guy in the video. Let's see, this one, maybe this one doesn't have a bunch of elements. Let's see here. Oh, there they are. So you can see all these different elements. And the other kind of annoying thing is, there is in these presets, they already have how long this is going to be. So you can see here it's just zooming in on this creepy looking guy without a shirt on, and then here comes your YouTube. So this would be a nice thing to make for your YouTube entrance. But for example, you're going to want to get rid of this video track. I mean, who the heck is going to use that to open their YouTube channel unless you're that guy? And even then, you look like a creepy dude. So, that's kind of off-putting and a little bit weird, but I guess it's just supposed to give you an idea of what this preset is. So then maybe you could say, okay, I'll go out and I'll create a video like that where it's somebody zooming in on me or my logo or whatever it might be, so that at the end, this is what it's going to look like at the end, that it's going to be this little circle with your face or your logo in there, and then you can come in here and change your text. So you click on that little pencil icon, and then you can come in here and we can say, this is going to be the nailed or failed reviews channel, and let's see if we can possibly add in some quick, just to make this look legitimate for you guys, to show you how it's going to work. So here was, but I forgot, they won't. So this is one of the weird things that I've been noticing, is sometimes it lets me drag photos in and sometimes it doesn't. Earlier I was trying to drag in some full-size over 2 megabyte photos, and here's one of them. So let's see if it actually drags it in. And see, for some reason it just won't do it. Now if I drag in an MP4, it's converting it for some reason, and it dragged it in fine. But you could see I dragged in, these were some different images that we were making for Nailed or Failed Reviews for a logo, and these are just simple PNGs, and it's dropping them in okay. But if I try to drop in a over 2 megabyte image, it's not doing it. So that's kind of annoying. You have to actually go into the add that, and then we're going to go into here and we'll select these 2 photos and add them in that way. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how long it takes to populate it. I'm not sure why it's taking so long, other than Again, these are full-size photos off of a Sony digital camera A6000 that are over 2 megabytes. So that might just be the reasoning. But again, so we'll get rid of this track here, and I got to use backspace, and then we'll take Angel and drop her in here. And see, again, kind of annoying. Where did it go? It went to where my track head was at. So that is something that's normal operation with video editing, but it is something that a lot of people will forget about, and then you say, well, where the heck is my track that I just put into here? And again, you can see how sort of you have to adjust this zooming in and out to actually see what the heck you're doing. Okay, so we're almost there, and I'm so far zoomed in, you can see we're at 2 seconds there. So let me zoom in a little bit more, and then we'll move this back. So you can see here it's opening with it, and what we're going to do is add some of these elements. So we're going to fade in a little bit, and then we'll fade out at the end. And one thing I have not found for the photos when you drop them in is a zoom function. So other than the positioning, which you can see here, you can change. Let me zoom out a little bit on my overall player. And again, this is one thing you want to make sure that you're filling up your full player depending on what size you're using. So I feel like this 25% is where I've always been needing to stay at to see what the heck is going on, unless I'm editing a specific element itself. But you can see there I got my picture, and so now I'm going to play it. So we'll hit play here, and it fades in on her, and then here comes our YouTube thing, and there she is at the end. Okay, so you can see there that it made that nice little image of her and the little intro. I will note that, depending on the power of your computer, I think mine's just a little bit lagging because I'm using a screen recorder and this video editing software, so it's taking a little bit of my RAM up on my computer. But you can see it sort of doesn't really show when you're dragging the track head the transitions very well, as far as the full element, like what it's going to do, like this way. So you can see everything is still showing there, but there is actually some transition, and it just sort of disappears. And like right now, it should be showing, but it's not. There it goes. So some little quirks, but not too big of a deal. Again, I think these are some really useful tools, but you are going to have to really do things, like for example, her face is not centered there. So what you could do for there is, this is going to be at the end of the video now. We're saying, okay, we're here, but actually we're already into the fade out of this, and it doesn't look like you can actually adjust that. It looks like the fade out is already there. Let me see if the fade out's on her. So it looks like, yeah, the fade out was on her. So we'll take it off of here, and we split that. And so, for example, we want her face in there while she's, we want it centered up there. So you can't move this like Premiere Pro. You just by grabbing and then moving the mouse. You actually got to grab the image. So you can see, and then this is another sort of frustrating thing with these video editing apps, is they're kind of primitive in the way that they're allowing you to select things. You have this selected, and you want to just move it with the mouse into the center of that circle. And instead of trying to do it by figuring out, okay, what number that is, you just want to drag it. But what's happening is it's always going, or a lot of the times it's going to just select the top element, and then you can see it grab the text, and then it grabs her last. So it's really hard sometimes to get that correct because of just the interface, the way that everything's working, regardless of the fact that we've clicked on the item down here in the track. Once we come up here, it doesn't keep it. So for instance, in like Premiere Pro and on Photoshop, if you grab that layer, it's going to keep it usually, unless you have the group button selected. Then you can usually grab it pretty easily, move it around. But as you can see, that's not the case here. So again, the main thing about this app is that it is supposed to help you create these videos and social media elements easier. And so depending on whether or not you have assets or not is going to depend on how long it takes you to do something like this. Again, really the idea here is that, once you drop in some assets like a video, then you can take their text, you can drop in the text there, and then you set the length as far as, when you want it to come in and how long you want it to be there for. So that's the pretty much the basics of this and how it works. I think most people are going to be able to figure this part of it out. As far as the editing, it is going to take a little bit of a while for you guys to, drop in these elements and say, okay, now what do I do here? Where the heck is this? I lost it in the timeline. But you can see that it has these really cool little elements here that are going to be really useful for people like myself who are looking for some easier ways to create maybe text transitions or title bars or things like that are a little bit more difficult and time consuming to create in something like Premiere Pro. So I think I'll leave it there. If you guys have any comments or questions, definitely leave it in the comments and we'll try to get to them. But again, I think a lot of their presets are pretty helpful. Now I want to talk to you guys about the screen recording software part of it, because that was what really piqued my interest in buying this software in the first place. Okay, so the screen recording function of this is kind of what piqued my interest and made me buy it, other than the being half price, because again, I was using this other screen recording software that I've been using for a long time that I'm recording this video on right now, and some of the problems I've had with it is when they come out with an update, it usually breaks it, and I gotta ask them to fix something sometimes, or I think they've sort of acknowledged the issue and have come up with some type of fix, but the last probably 3 updates, I've had some type of issue where the update didn't take and I had to just do a complete reinstall. But one of the powerful things about it is that it allows you to select your screen. It allows you to have this little, webcam recording area that you can change the size of like this. And it's just a really powerful thing. You can do things like draw on the screen to show people, what you're talking about. So let me get that out of there. But it's just a really powerful app. And again, this is this Soft. I don't even know how you say it right, but I'll provide a link and we'll do a video review on this one, because again, it's a really good one. But I wanted to see if this Create could beat it out for a screen recording software. And unfortunately, they fall very short. I will say that the video editing part of it, in the first part of the video is pretty good. I like a lot of the different elements. I think I'm going to keep it and use those. But as far as a screen recorder, they got a lot of work to do. So one thing is that I have 3 screens, and I'll show you guys a shot of that here. I use 2 huge LG 32-inch monitors, and then I have an HP monitor that I'm recording this video software review on right now. And then I have my laptop that I actually, when all the monitors are hooked up, the laptop monitor is turned off because the video card can't handle that many. But one issue that I ran into that is not with the current screen recording software that I use is you can't select the screen. So if you have multiple screens, even though it says select screen here, you can't select a screen. It's really annoying. You can select a region like this. So you can say, okay, select a custom size, or you can drag and drop this. For some reason, there isn't any full size, just to select full window. I'm not sure why that is, but either way, you can still adjust it to select the custom area that you want. So that's for the screen recording. The webcam, I'm not going to try to bring that up right now because it doesn't work anyways, and I'm currently using a webcam on this screen recorder, so it's not going to access it. But what it will do is you can see it sees the cameras, and I have the free version of ChromaCam on here, but it doesn't like that. It won't work with ChromaCam at all. It just freezes and won't bring it up. Even when you select the webcam, what it does, so I have to just select the regular USB camera, and it'll just fill this up with the image, and then you can select your mic. So you can see this is the mic I'm currently using, this little boom mic, and then you can start recording. But what happens is it won't record the web camera. I'm not sure why. But all the testing I've done, and like I said, I can't do it right now because I'm currently using it and recording the screen with this program. I'm not going to start another one. but it won't show the camera. Now, I don't know what's going on. I reached out to support and they haven't got back to me yet. But what they did say is that for the screen recording, for the screen function, you have to unplug all your screens. It can't choose between different screens like this one, like this program I'm using currently. You have no options to draw on the screen. You have no options to do anything. Like for this program, this AE Soft, you can actually, there's a floating bar right here that I'm grabbed onto. You can't see, you can see my mouse moving, but there's a floating bar that has a timer right here and some other options, and you can hide that. You can tell it to hide all the desktop icons, hide different windows. So it's really powerful in that aspect because you don't have to go and like move them all away. You can just tell it to hide it, and then when you're done recording, they'll show back up. So that's really nice. But this program doesn't come anywhere close to it. I'm going to sort of leave it at that because I don't really believe that you should buy this program based on the fact that it has a screen recorder function on it. If you're not trying to record a web camera and screen at the same time, if you're just trying to do the screen, then I will say it'll work as a basic screen recorder, but there's nothing else you can do with it. So just be aware that the screen recorder falls really short, and there's not much for me to review on other than the fact that it really doesn't work very well right now, and I wouldn't invest my money in it solely based on the screen recorder function. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for the review on Create. Hopefully this review helps you guys understand whether or not you should spend your money on it. I think it depends on whether or not you need a video editing app or a screen recorder or both. You know, I'm currently using this AC Soft screen recording program, and it's far superior than Create. And so I think if you're looking for a screen recording program, to spend your money elsewhere besides Create. You know, for this AC Soft, you can buy it right now for $25 for one license, and you get a lot of features that include, you know, the video recording, the writing on the screen, you can record audio by itself. I mean, it just has a bunch of features that are really useful. And look for our full review on AC Soft coming out very soon, because we are very impressed with it compared to a lot of the other screen recording programs that are out there. As far as if you're looking for a software or a video editing program, I think that Create could be really useful to people because it is a pretty simple interface. Because of that simple interface, I think it's really helpful for digital entrepreneurs who are trying to use something that isn't going to take a steep learning curve and doesn't have a lot of hidden features, that they can just drop some video and pictures in and create some different elements. So even for people who are professional video editors, or if you're using Premiere Pro all the time or Final Cut, for example, I think that some of the features that it has for like the pre-made templates for like these different logos and some of the stuff for the transitions and the text could be really useful to help people easier create videos easier. So I think the video editing portion of it is pretty useful. You know, for 60 some bucks, it's not too bad for, you know, finding something. You know, it is another program that, for example, if you're saying, okay, well, I want to use it for creating these certain elements, then you're going to have to open another program if you're already using Premiere Pro. But I think for me, for some of the stuff that we're trying to do these days to make things a little bit flashier and a little bit more modern looking with social media videos, we're going to be using some of these quick elements to help us create that. So again, you can buy Create anytime for $127 one-time payment. You can come here to this Create Vidello page. We'll also have a link down below that's in our affiliate link. So please help support Nailed or Failed Reviews by buying from our affiliate links. It helps us go out and purchase products like this and bring you full reviews instead of just setup reviews, because we're actually going to use these and figure out all the quirks and the ins and outs to show you guys, so you don't have to waste your time on it. So I will also provide the link, the affiliate link for the half price. Again, depending on when you're watching this video, that may or may not be up as far as the offer goes, but it is nice that they are offering this software for a one-time fee instead of a membership fee. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for this video review of Create. Like if you like, subscribe, and check out the other videos.